Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we're setting out to map the entire landscape of a truly massive global enterprise, English for Academic Purposes, or EAP. If you've ever found yourself wondering how students from all over the world actually manage to thrive in English medium universities, or how complex academic language really works, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to decode exactly what EAP is, and trust me, it goes way, way beyond just learning basic grammar.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start by defining academic English, then look beyond everyday conversation, explore core communicative practices, touch on pre-tertiary preparation, map out the undergraduate experience, and finally, look at postgraduate research and beyond. Let's get right to it.
Section 1, Defining Academic English, the core definition. Okay, let's dive into this and start right at the very foundation. What exactly are we talking about when we say EAP?
At its core, English for Academic Purposes is defined as teaching English with the specific aim of assisting learners study or research in that language. But, it's so much more than just a list of vocabulary words. It's a really broad, highly systematic, and solution-oriented approach. It's designed to help international and non-native speaking students, and honestly even native speakers who just lack an academic background, succeed within a rigorous English medium university context. Basically, EAP is about empowering students to meet the exact social, cognitive, and linguistic demands of their target academic situations. Section 2, Beyond Everyday Conversation. Visualizing the gap. Now, you might be asking yourself, hey, if I can speak English perfectly well at a coffee shop, why do I even need EAP? Well, that brings us to the massive gap between conversational fluency and academic proficiency. What's really interesting about this slide is the stark difference you see here between chatty, everyday English and formal academic discourse. It's night and day. Academic texts are tightly packed with information. We actually call this high lexical density. The source material notes that academic writing relies heavily on specialist vocabulary and an impersonal voice to pack complex ideas into relatively few words. It's just a completely different register. A casual conversation is fluid, right? It's full of grammatical filler words, but academic text, that's a structured, heavily concentrated delivery of knowledge. Because this gap is so profound, EAP has rapidly evolved over the last 20 years. It started out as this fringe branch of language teaching, but the global surge of international students has completely transformed it. Today, EAP is situated at the absolute front line of both theory development and innovative teaching practice worldwide. Fun fact for you, it has literally grown into a multi-million-dollar global enterprise backed by deep, interdisciplinary research.
Section 3, Core Communicative Practices, breaking down the scope. So, we know what EAP is, and we know why it's so essential, but what does it actually cover in practice? Spoiler alert, it's much broader than just teaching someone how to write a good 5-paragraph essay.
The scope of EAP covers 4 massive areas of academic communicative practice. First up, classroom interactions. This means knowing how to receive teacher feedback, speaking up in tutorials, and actually participating in seminar discussions. Second, student writing. This is everything from taking a timed exam to writing a massive graduate thesis. Third, we have research genres like drafting grant proposals or conference papers. And fourth, administrative practice. Let's be honest, navigating complex course documents or trying to orally defend a doctorate can feel like a degree in itself. EAP has to equip learners to navigate every single one of these interactions confidently.
Section 4, Pre-tertiary Preparation, Building the Foundation. To truly understand just how immense this task is, we need to view it through the lens of a student's journey. How do all these practices map onto the educational ladder?
Let's move to and see how this builds in practice. The academic ladder typically begins with foundational pre-sessional courses, progresses right up to the undergraduate degree, and finally peaks at postgraduate research. We're going to follow a conceptual student up this exact ladder, starting right at the bottom rung.
For a lot of learners, their very first taste of academic study is through an EAP pre-sessional course. These are foundational programs designed specifically to improve a student's academic communication skills to the precise level required just to safely enter a university. Think of it like a bridge. The goal here isn't to make them subject experts right off the bat, but to integrate them safely into the educational structure. It gives them core skills like working out the main points of a text, understanding how lectures are structured, and building independent study habits.
Section 5, The Undergraduate Experience, Navigating Diverse Disciplines. Once that foundation is solid, our student steps fully into the university ecosystem. And wow,
This is a place where they are immediately bombarded by new subjects, new expectations, and entirely new ways of communicating.
At this undergraduate level, the core EAP tasks are highly practical and intensely demanding. Step 1. It starts with listening to dense, fast-paced lectures and actually managing to take effective notes. Step 2. Then comes seminar participation, meaning they have to prepare to speak, identify different stances, and express their own perspectives clearly. Step 3. Add to that reading massive, complex textbooks just to pick out the main arguments. And Step 4. Writing exams, reports, and essays. These are literally the daily survival skills required across almost all university disciplines.
And this brilliantly illustrates a vital concept. This isn't just about language, it's about socialization. As the source material powerfully states, students have to take on new roles and engage with knowledge in new ways. When undergraduates enter higher education, they undergo a profound shift in identity. They have to adapt to the cultures, the expectations, and the specific literacies of their chosen academic communities. It's a total immersion into a whole new world of discourse.
But what happens when you conquer the undergraduate world? What happens when you move beyond simply consuming knowledge in the classroom and you're suddenly expected to actually create original research?
Section 6. Postgraduate research and beyond, the highest rung. That brings us to our final stage. This is the realm of highly specialized, high-stakes academic communication that really defines the professional scholarly world.
At the postgraduate level, the demands shift dramatically, and the practices become incredibly specialized. Under research genres, students now have to master writing journal articles, drafting grant proposals just to get funding, and presenting conference papers. Under student writing, they're producing massive, highly complex dissertations. And perhaps the most daunting part is the administrative side. They have to skillfully navigate power dynamics with their supervisors, debate issues of authority, and somehow successfully survive a doctoral oral defense. This requires the absolute highest level of disciplinary literacy.
So, the crucial point is this. EAP is fundamentally about empowerment. In academia, certain prestigious genres, like the published research article or the doctoral thesis, possess what the source material calls cultural capital. Academics are basically judged by their control over the discourses of their disciplines. Mastering these genres either restricts or opens career pathways. It's the ultimate signifier of a scholar's competence. By teaching these highly valued ways of making meaning, EAP teachers actively distribute this knowledge more equally, empowering both native and non-native learners to achieve true professional success.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. We've seen that EAP is not just a set of grammatical rules to memorize, it's a systematic journey from the very basics of a pre-sessional course all the way to the heights of doctoral research. As English solidifies its role as the global language of academic knowledge, I want you to ask yourself, how will mastering these specific communicative practices shape your own scholarly identity? How will it give you a unique voice in the global academic conversation? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.